Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Thank you all who tunes in now and in the future. I appreciate you sharing some of your very valuable time and energy with me. And as always, I pray that these words are received in the spirit that I am striving to deliver them in, which is the spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course and always in the spirit and in the name of God. And I pray that these words find you and your family and your loved ones in the best of your health, the best of your wellness, and the best of your life. And I pray that it is on purpose, because life is indeed on purpose. And when we are living and leading a purposeful life, we are truly living a blessed life, right? So family, listen, I have a fun and exciting topic that I wanted to come and discuss with you. And it may be one that you haven't heard before, but it's definitely one that we need to wrap our minds around, right? And this is, are you living to live or living to die? Ooh. And this is not a metaphysical, religious, spiritual question. This is a health and wellness question, right? Because when we are born, right, we are examined, we are given some type of test to determine our status, right? So if you aren't born with a particular ailment or condition, how do you acquire it? Lifestyle, the style of living that you are doing. So the question is, are you living to live or are you living to die? And just in case you don't know which lane you could be in, that's the point where we're going to talk to see where I'm at so I can know where I need to get myself at. Because when we're looking at the body, even in the midst of these pandemics and other things like the monkeypox and everything that's in the before this, right? The human body is designed, it is created to overcome all of this. Anything that we can encounter, the body has an answer for. When depending on our lifestyle, we've either made our bodies strong enough where they can live, or we've impaired the body to where now a virus, a bacteria, things that the body can easily overcome now kills it, right? Because inside of us, as an example, right, in our immune system, we have something called the NK cell, right? And this stands for the listen, look at the name of this. The natural killer. Listen, we hear about all of this violence and stuff going on in the world, right? But God gave us, listen, God gave us an immune cell that this world calls the NK cell, or the natural killer cell. So it can kill bacteria, viruses, cancer cells. Woo! Listen, if you look up on what this thing can do, it can kill bacterial cells, it can kill viral cells, and it can kill cancer cells. So the question, you gotta raise your hand. But hold up. If we have this in our body, then why do we still succumb to these? It goes right here. The lifestyle. So we gotta stop and look, and we gotta legitimately, realistically, literally ask ourselves, am I living to live or am I living to die? And then, depending on where I want to go with my life, I know exactly what to change, right? So look, because the key is the lifestyle. So when we are looking at this, right, there are things that we must do, that we cannot supplement, we cannot buy, we cannot replace. If we aren't doing them, then they impact the body to the point where it causes, right? Look, this is what it causes. I'm sorry, senescence. Listen, it causes cellular senescence. This is where the cell can do its job. Senescence, wrinkles, gray hair, right? Things like these are senescent cells that you can see almost at any time. This is when the cell, it can still do its job. That gray hair can still do the job of the hair. That wrinkled skin, it still does the job of the skin. But there's no life left. There's no growth in it. It does not grow. It's not reproducing into life. So now it's waiting to die. It's waiting for one of those invaders to come, and the body is so weak enough it can't overcome it. Because the cells, they can only do their job, but they don't have that ability to reproduce and grow and develop. So if that cell dies, there's no replacement, and that causes that cell to die, that tissue to die, that organ to die, that system to die, and then you die. So it can start in the lung as one cell. That cell dies, the tissue dies, the organ dies, the system breaks down and dies, and then now you die. So when we are looking at this senescence, right, you got two main ways that you get there. You have telomere shortening, right? And you have stress induced senescence, right? So you got telomere senescence, shortening senescence, and you have stress induced senescence. So I got a book, The Endocrinology of Healing in Life, right? And in here, I go into the telomere shortening process. So when we are born, in our cells, in the DNA, it has a protective cap. And the protective cap is called a telomere. During reproduction, the telomere shortens. So they have found that we are born within a certain length of telomere. And as we age or go through the reproduction process, the telomere shortens and shortens until it disappears. When that telomere disappears, it's nothing protecting that DNA. So it starts to unravel. Now that cell, it can do its job, but it cannot reproduce life because the foundation of it is determinated. So now it's waiting for that catalyst to cause it to die. But the telomere is made out of enzymes called telomerase. The same nucleotides that the DNA is made out of. This is what the telomere is made out of. And the body produces enzymes called telomerase that if we had, then this is a living to die lifestyle. This is a living to die lifestyle. They living such a lifestyle that the body doesn't produce telomerase anymore. So the telomeres shorten. This is a healthy lifestyle, a living to live lifestyle. They have such a lifestyle that the body is able to produce telomerase continuously. So no matter how many reproductions, the telomere doesn't shorten. So the DNA is never corrupted. So that cell has an endless, infinite, indefinite amount of meiosis, mitosis, of reproducing itself of life. This is the lifestyle. So look, this is, they call it the end replication problem. If you look this up, it's the end replication problem. This is because they haven't been able to prevent the body from producing enough telomerase, or they haven't been able to keep the body, producing enough telomerase to keep the telomeres long enough to keep that DNA intact to avoid senescence. So you have an endless life cycle because that now this problem is solved because the key is lifestyle. Ooh, now you have stress-induced senescence, right? This is when it's not just mental and emotional stress, right? Stress also is when you move too much, when you overexert yourself and you never give yourself enough rest. Like in that, it's eating the wrong food, it's drinking the wrong thing, it's not getting enough rest, it's not getting enough sunlight. All of these things create metabolic stress in the body. They create conditions of cellular stress in the body. They create conditions of an impaired immune system, an impaired lymphatic system. They keep us in the stress response. So the HPT axis is shut down and you have thyroid problems. The HPG axis is shut down. So you have testosterone and estrogen problems, right? The HGH, the human growth hormones, that's impacted because that comes from that same HP axis. So, and now we are stuck in that HPA, the adrenal gland axis, the stress response. And this creates that condition that makes that cell die, or not die, but it makes it loses its ability to create life, but it can still do its job. So you can still walk, you can still talk, you can still move, you can still pray, you can still fast, but your body has lost the ability to produce your own life. So you find yourself getting worse and worse day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You're not getting better. This is a sign of senescence. But the good news is that this is all based on your lifestyle. So now, let's look at a healthy lifestyle. Because listen, I'm saying this because no matter what condition you are in now, your body, our bodies, they are designed to repair themselves. They are designed to rejuvenate, regenerate, reproduce itself, right? So it wants to do it right now. No matter what condition you are in, your body is fighting to correct itself, to perfect itself right now. If we do certain things, it gives the body that condition. It puts the body in that condition. Oh, man. To not just be healed. See, you can be healed and still be in senescence. You can have nothing wrong with you and your cells are stuck in that senescence, that action of senescence, where it cannot reproduce its life. This world calls it irreversible. We got to understand this. This world calls it irreversible. Now, look, let's do a little test real quick, right? Let's do a little test real quick. Let's stop moving. No matter where you're at, just stop moving for a few seconds. What's moving on your body? Just your heart and your lungs, right? And your breathing. That's it. If you stop moving, your body doesn't move. Now, let's test control and command. Tell your right arm to raise. Bam, look at it. Right? And it will stay there. It will stay there. It will stay there until when? Until you say go back down. See, that's control and command. So no matter what you need to be done or to go in your life, your body is under your command. Even your immune system, even your lymphatic system, every part of your body is under your command. If we don't know how to control it, that's where we have the unhealthy lifestyle at. So let's look at it real quick. We're going to start with the basics. Number one, sunlight. Right? This is important because with all of these things that we're ready to discuss, we cannot replace them, supplement them, or buy them. Even though they have told you that they have supplemented the sunlight and put it in a bottle. And they want you to believe that you can avoid putting your body in the sun and just take something in the body and you will still be as healthy as you could be with this. So when we are looking, 90%. This is according to nutrition. Nutritional science teaches us that 90% of our vitamin D intake should come from the sun touching our skin. So when we are looking at this phenomenon, yes, you can eat vitamin D, but we aren't designed to eat vitamin D. We are designed to have the vitamin D converted from the sun touching our skin. So the least, when you don't do this, now you have to replace and go through your stomach. But we aren't designed for that. So when you do something that you aren't supposed to do, when you move your body how it's not created to move, what happens? Good or bad? We should not expect something good to happen from something that we are supposed to do and don't do it. Okay, so we gotta go into sunlight. The science says this is the sole source of life. This is life. Everything in our universe needs the sun, uses the sun. We are called the sun people, the people of the sun. Why now do we think we can replace that with something in a bottle and still continue to be healthy and live? This is a significant factor, an impactor on a cell becoming senescent. This is a significant impact on the immune system being weak enough, the metabolism being low enough to where it cannot support and keep up with your life and your energy and your health. Number two, exercise. Woo! right? We have two types of energy. You got potential and you got kinetic, right? So you got two types of energy, potential and kinetic. Potential is energy at rest. Kinetic is energy in motion. All of the energies that you hear, magnetism, electromagnetism, electricity, gravity, static, everything that we hear about energy comes from this category of energy in motion. So you have a pacemaker in our heart. If you open up the heart, we have pacemakers, right? We have a solenoid right here that sends an electrical spark to the muscles of the heart and causes them to contract. And when they release, that is our heartbeat. It's called a pacemaker. If you wear out your pacemaker, they will put in a man-made one inside. And all it does is causes your heart to beat, to give that pump, right? How do you exercise? How do you improve? How do you grow or exercise your pacemaker? Exercise, kinetic energy, cardiovascular exercise, right? This is your cardiovascular system. When you're getting up, you're producing energy. When you get up and you move, you are producing energy. You are energy in motion. See, so when we move rightly, we don't need to eat to get energy because I'm an energy factory. When we're looking at the muscles, when we look at the body, right? And we are looking at the muscles. Right? When we're looking at those muscle fibers, these are striated fibers. We control these fibers. In these fibers, in the muscle cell, they have 1,500 mitochondria. Right? The mitochondria are responsible for creating the energy of the body. This is the energy. Hold on. My bad. I'm writing a little bit too fast. This is the energy engine. So when we're looking at motion, we're looking at power and energy. It comes from the mitochondria of the cell, the energy engine. They use oxygen and glucose to make ATP, adenosine triphosphate energy, right? But this happens in the muscle. This is in the muscle fiber. So when we get up and we move ourselves, we are activating those 1,500 mitochondria that's in one muscle fiber or muscle cell. And now we got them all getting up and producing energy. So you become energized, energetic, right? Because you are creating your own energy. So glucose is a carbohydrate that comes from the sun. Woo! So the main important factor that the body needs to make energy is glucose, a carb that comes from photosynthesis, the sunlight. Oxygen is the other ingredient. Oxygen comes from the plants in photosynthesis. So when we are outside, the body is receiving the two important ingredients it needs for energy. See, when you don't have the sunlight, you got to go find this in food. In the absence of the sun, you got to go get this from food. How many of us are surrounded by plants right now? How many of us are in an environment that we are surrounded by plants? Plants produce the oxygen. So we either have a lifestyle that keeps us powerless, energyless, or we have a lifestyle that gives us endless energy. We are never without energy because we are always in the fabric of energy. We are always doing the action that creates energy. The opposite, this is where the sedentary lifestyle is at, in the potential. It's energy, but you're not using it. So it's sedentary. Everything in your body is shut down because it induces stress. Your body thinks something is wrong, so it automatically goes into the stress response. So all of these fall under the stress-induced senescence, right? So number 3, this takes us right to number 3. Breathing properly. I gotta add that on. Not just breathing, but breathing properly. Because when I say breathing, your first response will be, well, I'm breathing right now, which is true. But there is a wrong way to breathe, right? So the wrong ways to breathe, right? Equals mouth breathing, chest breathing, shallow breathing, right? Breathing too fast, right? These are wrong breathing, ways that we breathe wrong. And what it does is it inhibits the body of getting the number one ingredient that every cell in our bodies need, oxygen, because we are aerobic, right? So if we know that we are aerobic, meaning with oxygen, when you breathe wrong and you deprive your cells of oxygen, you deprive your cells of having enough energy making ingredients to keep that cell where it wants to be, where it needs to be. Because this is happening in the individual cells. This is what the important factor or takeaway is. All of this is happening in the cell. So we want to keep these cells in that endless cycle of reproduction. We want to give the cells everything it needs to continue to be healthy and strong. Once the cell is healthy and strong, the tissue is healthy and strong, the organ is healthy and strong, the system is healthy and strong. You and your whole body is healthy and strong. So this is the importance of breathing. So when we know that we are breathing wrong, this is a stress inducer. So every time we do something we aren't supposed to do, it causes stress inside of me. Every time I do something I'm not supposed to do, it causes stress inside of me. It literally takes away from my own life. We are showing the science on how this happens. Just like it when I do things I'm supposed to do. Right? When I do all of the things that I'm supposed to do, my body is healthy and strong. I can keep my mobility is on 100%, right? I'm good. I'm growing and developing each day, each week, each month, each year. I'm getting better. So breathing is something that, because we don't always eat wrong. We don't always drink wrong. We don't always, we get exercise, we might not get it how we should. We get sunlight, but we might not get it how we should. So we're not always doing these things wrong. But if you are always breathing wrong, if every breath you take is wrong, then you are possibly living a life under stress. You exercise, you do go outside, you do eat right, you do drink right, you do get rest. But if every breath you take is wrong, then that means you are potentially living a lifestyle under stress, because everything I do wrong causes stress. So we must learn how to breathe as we are created. Right? This is the healthy lifestyle. And the last one, it's only 4 categories. I'm only starting the healthy lifestyle with 4 categories, because you can't replace these. You can't supplement the sun, exercise, or breathing. You have to do these things right, and get the benefit, or do it wrong and get the side effect. Right? So number 4, rest. Woo! Rest. Listen, we can go get all the sunlight we want. We can exercise. We can breathe properly. The body repairs, heals, regenerates when we get rest. All of these things, including eating and drinking, they are the parts that the body needs. They are the ingredients and the elements that the body uses, the building blocks. But this is the time that the body can use those things, because when you are moving, right? When you ever go get your blood pressure checked, right? When you go to have your blood pressure monitored, they want you to be sitting still for at least 15, 20, 30 minutes before you get it tested. They want you to be in a certain position to make sure that your veins and arteries aren't impaired, so you won't get a false reading, right? So you put your body under a certain condition to get an accurate reading, right? Now, when you are moving, your blood pressure is naturally up to support your moving. This is why you check it when you are sitting still. Because when you're moving, you're going to throw that number off, because your blood pressure automatically raises when you move. So when you are in a action of rest, your blood pressure should naturally lower, because you aren't moving. So now your veins and your arteries, they're open. Your cardiovascular system is open. Your heart is beating at a pace, at a rhythm that's conducive to health instead of stress. Because when you're moving, your heart rate is beating faster to support your movement, right? So when you are in the action of rest, your body, all of that energy that's used to support your movement, it isn't doing that anymore. Now it has an abundance of energy. So what will it do with it? It will send it to repair itself. It will send it to heal itself. It will send it to regenerate itself. So when you wake up, you've gotten better. Listen, when you wake up, you've gotten better. See, that's in these 4 things is what we focus on and start here. So we have the Move Something campaign, right? To help us understand the importance of exercise and how to use it medicinally, right? We have the Wow Factor, so we can understand how to get that rest, right? To create that womb of wellness, so we can maximize this natural action of healing and repair, right? We got the breathing, oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. Woo! To show us you get a comparison between, because you want to learn your system. So this is a science book. So you're literally learning your system. Look, this is mouth breathing, the effects of mouth breathing. See, it changes, a lot of cavities come from that, right? So this is a science book to give you an understanding on the differences between breathing right and wrong and the effects of it, right? And how to do it right so we can breathe our way into our healing, our health, and our abundant life, right? So family, we're going to have some upcoming classes on this. We're going to announce it very soon in the future so we can learn how to build that healthy lifestyle so I can achieve my health and wellness goals, so I can enjoy my abundant life. If that sounds like something that you or somebody you know may like to participate in, just feel free to contact us and stay tuned. And family, let us go and carpe diem, seize the day. Let us go conquer our day. Let us go create our heaven and set ourselves in it at once. And that is all up to us.